The following program is brought to you with limited commercial interruption.
Today's broadcast is being simulcast in broken English.
I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show the world.
Welcome to the show that we're doing right now.
What the hell are we doing on this show?
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Let's go.
What is this?
Giggity, 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 goo.
Who else but
The Q.
it's showtime. Gentlemen, let's get down to business. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yeah, I can dig it, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Q. You're listening to the best pop culture, current events, current affairs show east or west of that Mississippi River, hailing from the great city of St. Louis and worldwide at theqnow.com and evidently at newsradiokyro.com. That's it. That's correct. When you try to do these things on the fly, sometimes they make a mistake. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Q. I am Mark Blaine. I am your host. This is an exciting show. We've got it packed out. First off, my guy Marcus Boston from the Soulardians is here to chop it up with us. I'm always excited when Marcus comes on the show. Your man, Mark Bland, that's right, me, the host of this show, nailed the prediction again here on this show, ladies and gentlemen. And we have receipts to prove it. Why are you listening to anyone else? Honestly, I don't know, but we will discuss the midterms. And by the way, the Dems did better in the midterms than the Republicans would like, and we're going to discuss that. So a lot to discuss on this episode of The Q. But I mentioned at the top of the show, first off, Jason Call is here.
Yes, I am.
And welcome, Jason. Appreciate you being here.
I am glad to be here.
And our guest today, ladies and gentlemen, is the podcast Zaddy himself. That's what he likes to call himself. He likes to call himself the Zaddy. That's Zaddy, not Daddy. Zaddy, as in like Zach, but with the word Addy after Zaddy. He likes to be the podcast. He is Marcus Boston. Welcome to The Q. Welcome to the studios of 1280 AM, KYRO, 105.3 FM, News Radio, KYRO.com.
I'm very much impressed, and I thank you for having me on your show.
You got to talk into the microphone. This is a professional broadcasting place.
You think I should know this thing by now, because I guess I'm on my little street corners, but this is beautiful. This is like
you might be on your little street corners and stuff, but my point being is this is like legit, real, like professional broadcasting type stuff. You know,
you're right.
We just got the real world going on over here. Is what we got. We got headphones for you right there.
Oh,
we got headphones for you right there. You could even hear us talking to you if you throw those bad boys on. I bet you could even hear our voice in your ears. Listen to you.
Hey, I can hear you. I can hear us.
You can hear us being broadcasters, and when we play music or do anything like that, if we play anything, you can always hear it that way too. Plus, you can hear the phone callers if they call in.
Oh shit!
All kinds of fun.
I'm trying to get my ass on live. Have some.
Okay, you got it. First off, you can't be saying ass on the radio. You just can't be doing that. Okay.
But I'm sorry.
You can't be cussing on FCC airwaves. Jason, this guy is out of control already.
I'm sorry. Please don't ban me. I just got here. I'm sorry. I'm still learning these rules. I apologize. I come from
12-hour ban.
I come from the raw.
Yeah, you're getting a 12-hour ban impersonating us on this radio show.
I apologize.
Yeah, you got to talk into the microphone. You got to have headphones on so you can hear what's going on.
Headphones
and there's real radio station stuff going on here.
Real rules.
Real radio. Yeah, all that. Rah. All right, so ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into this a little bit because the midterm elections for 2022 were held this past week. Mm-hmm. And we are still in limbo as of this moment because we've got a runoff in Georgia for sure. We know that for sure.
Is democracy safe?
And it's very possible that with that runoff in Georgia, it will come down to that runoff with the way the House and the Senate and all the good stuff goes.
Could you imagine?
But here's the problem. The problem is that the individual that is in this runoff, listen, 2022's midterms kind of felt after they were over with a little bit like 2016. And let me explain why. Because in 2016, you had no clue that a guy like Donald Trump, with all the things and making fun of the disabled guy on live TV and his campaign trail, literally on the campaign.
confessing to.
He wasn't even
assaulting women.
president yet, so that they could at least argue, oh, we know this is just Donald being Donald, right? Like, no, he was still campaigning. He was still the guy, grabbing by the butts and stuff like that.
The front butt.
The front butts. Yes.
I've never heard of front butt, but it makes so much sense.
It does. It does.
It does. How did I come up with this? That's a front butt.
That's right. Jason Call, his Iowa upbringing forced us all to learn about front butts.
And nothing but time.
Oh my God.
Nothing but time.
How did I come up with that first?
All right, now, with this all being said, that individual who won or is going to be in this runoff, which caught everybody off guard, is Herschel Walker, the person that we've come on this show multiple times in these episodes of the show leading up to, like, for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, like, Herschel Walker was there campaigning, and we're like, nobody's taking this seriously, right? Like, we even said, after Trump in 2016, no one's taking this serious, right? Because we have had to have learned our lesson by now. But what we were mistaken with, ladies and gentlemen, was the idea that this is Georgia. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The same Georgia that gave you wild conspiracy theorist Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay? So if you've got the same type of people voting for an individual who has equally bad, whatever you want to say, karma, juju, whatever it is, just not good at all, and you have that just sitting there in spades with this individual, and you're just like, I'm going to ignore all of that, just like Donald Trump in 2016, and I'm gonna vote for Herschel Walker. How?
Herschel Walker.
Listen, I said this to Marcus off the air because I was thinking about it, and Marcus, you can verify if this is true.
Okay,
you can
talk
even
to him. Yeah.
I'll even pay you $8 to verify.
Pew, 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 pew.
Pew. Shots fired. Shots fired, ladies and gentlemen. Shots fired are here on the Q. QNow.com.
You know.
TheQNOW.com. There you go. But I said outside when I was hanging out and just talking to Marcus before the show, if you put Marjorie Taylor Greene up against Herschel Walker, I would choose Marjorie Taylor Greene just because she can speak properly and formulate
somewhat
what we think are coherent thoughts that we know that the half of them are trash, but the other half that we can't, that we accept, that we at least understand the words.
I can hear them, and they make sense.
And they make sense to me because what Herschel Walker talks about makes no sense to anyone. He talked about a bass boat at one of his stops and how he had a bass boat that he went fishing on all the time.
No abortions. Sir, we have receipts.
Well, they are voting for him like he's like, hi, I'm Herschel Walker, America's hero. He's literally, every time he speaks, he sounds like he's asking a question, whether he's saying a statement or an actual question. Everything's like, how come Joe Biden likes taxes? Like, what?
How come he does? How come Joe Biden likes taxes? By the way, why did Donald Trump like taxes? And so did Obama and Bush and that other president and all of them. Why did all of them like taxes? Well, maybe because it wasn't their decision. Taxing wasn't anyone's decision. It's how we pay for things to keep our country going. And I understand a lot of people out there hate taxes, especially in red states like this, which we'll talk about a little bit of the Missouri side of things.
Well, and before the election, he came out and told the crowd that because of Joe Biden's loan forgiveness, he heard that kids were buying video games and beer with it. And it's just nonsense. It hasn't even happened yet.
They do that regardless.
And it wouldn't be a direct payment anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
A check.
Right. There's this idea that the money comes out of in the red state Republicans' head, right?
No.
The money comes regressive. I like to call them regressives. A regressive.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Y'all 2 for 2.
2 for 2
between front butts and regressives.
Yes,
y'all good.
We're good.
We're
good. This is why they listen. This is a Fox radio network, sir, and I'm a liberal sitting here. That's how good we are.
I'm watching.
We're so good that they just ignore their own hatred, and they're just like, we got to have Mark, we got to have Jason. We have no choice but to have these two gentlemen.
They need to say stuff.
They say stuff to us. Okay, but where were we at? I'm sorry.
Regressives.
Regressives. Okay. I know that the regressives in this situation, they literally what was I talking about before that in regards to regressives? It got off track.
Herschel.
Yeah, but Herschel. But what specifically with Herschel?
Not everything sound like a question.
Yeah. Asking
No
the
confidence
question.
in. At least when Marjorie lies, you almost believe her if you didn't know. But
Words
you
I
like, wait
know.
a minute.
Put in an order I've seen before.
That sounds good, but I know you lying. But man, you did a good job of almost convincing me you wasn't lying with your lying self.
Let me go 3 for 3 with you, Marcus.
Oh,
and it's
buddy.
not even on a name. It's not even on a name. Let me just nail it to the wall. I think that Herschel Walker is actually pretty indicative of the election this past week. Mm-hmm. Okay? And the reason I say that he's indicative of this is the fact that Herschel Walker was voted in simply on party line ethics.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's it. He was simply the red candidate in a red state mostly, even though you got large sections of Atlanta, so Democratic got it. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, red state.
Yeah.
Okay? And so I feel like it is an actual, it's indicative of the polarization of who we are as a country right now. Mm-hmm. There is no crossover aspect. Mm-hmm. There is our guys and their guys.
Yeah, that's bad.
And the way that it was presented on TV last night was their guys versus these guys, our guys versus those guys, whatever. However you want to frame that up, it became us versus them. Now,
I hate us versus
let's be honest. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. It is an election. There are two people competing for this spot. Obviously, there's going to be some gamesmanship to that aspect, as there is in every situation in all of history and time where there have been two competitors. So I'm not sitting here and negating the game aspect of this at all, or that within politics. But what I will say is if it becomes us versus them,
we all lose.
We are then on the path to civil war.
We all lose.
No, really, seriously. And I'm not talking about funny, talk about it on podcasts, talk about it on the radio, talk about it on TV and on YouTube, whatever, Civil War talk. I'm literally talking about people being ostensibly against each other on purpose. And when the blindness leads you to vote anyway for whatever the party ethics are here, and the blindness leads you to say us versus them and just make sure that you're protecting your side over here on this situation, your reasoning for those two reasons is the same. Mm-hmm. I'm selfish. Mm-hmm. I care about me. Right. This person gets me what I want or what I need, whatever I value or feel like is going to be responsible and needed to be said. If I was the person in these shoes, this is the person that I would want voting for me, vice versa. So you're taking a stand. You're taking a stand, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you're doing. And when you take that stand, now you're telling your friend. And your friend takes a stand. And then you're telling another friend. And before you know it, it comes offline. It comes out of the media. It has nothing to do with the media and anything anymore. Now there's a bunch of those people living over there. Mm-hmm. And we're us. And we don't like them. So we're going to go take care of them. And it becomes attacks. Right. Little stupid things that happen with a fist fight at a grocery store that goes viral, right? Yep. Some Trump supporters wearing his hat. He gets into a pretty nasty fist fight with some Marine or something like that. That's that was telling them up front, I don't stand for that or this, that, and the other. Yep. They get into a fight. It goes viral. It goes viral on the internet, right? Everybody in the world is talking about these two guys fighting. And what they were fighting about was politics, the stances. So everybody's got a stake in that kind of, because it's well, my mom and dad say this, so this is where I stand. Okay, now I'm on his side, too, in this video. Now I'm going to get online and say some trash. Now if I'm outside and I'm just walking around, I'm going to say more dumb trash.
Let that line get you in trouble.
Right? It almost sounds like a movie.
Like I said.
That's how a movie begins.
Like I said, guys, it's just indicative. I didn't say this is going to happen. But there was true polarization in the election. Mm-hmm. Everybody kind of voted along their lines, and when somebody won that shouldn't have gotten a seat that they got, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
People were upset. I saw the videos flooding in onto TikTok and Twitter while I was watching election results late at night, midnight.
Yeah.
And then they called it for Fetterman.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And I sat there, and he beat Dr. Oz up in
Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania.
He didn't live there.
He doesn't
Dr.
even
Oz is living in New Jersey.
That's right. He lives in New
He
Jersey.
didn't even.
Bam.
Remember right before the election, he didn't know the Steelers didn't play the next day.
Bruh.
He told everyone.
At least have a house in the state you politicking for. Have a beach house there or something. Don't just
Guys, I would assume he's got some type of a residence, like a townhome.
He got a P.O. box. That is not a home.
I wonder how many Republican voters he lost. Then were like fence sitting like Dr. Oz, and then he's like tomorrow before the Steelers.
Oprah said nah,
and you're like, and they're like, you know what? Oh, forget it. Like, whatever. He doesn't even know when the Steelers play, because that's a big deal. I'm assuming. That's
now,
a big deal in Pittsburgh.
With that being said, and all that being on the board, let me just finish my thought before we get to the break here. No, you guys are fine. You guys are absolutely fine. We were talking about Oz and all of that. So, but there was a polarization that really was showing itself pretty highly. The places that decided to hold on to the election denying, and like the J.D. Vance thing blew my mind. I couldn't believe J.D. Vance beat out Tim Ryan, because Tim Ryan, you could tell from like just the interviews and just the things he says, he's a really honestly good person.
Was Tim Ryan Ohio?
Yes.
Tim Ryan's dope. I like him.
That's what I'm saying.
But wasn't he a Republican, though?
No.
No. He's the Democrat.
Oh, okay. Tim Ryan's a nice
J.D. Vance was the Republican that beat him.
Oh, J.D. Vance don't sound trustworthy.
And by the way,
sound trustworthy.
Listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break here on the queue. No, you're fine. We're going to take a quick break here on the queue. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this stuff. We're going to get it in, because we are in the middle of discussing this midterm election and things. Plus, I've got some things that were very noticeable to me. And I want to talk about those things that happened. We can do that in the next break. We'll be back on the queue after this.
Yeah. Whoa. Hold on. Walk it like a
1280 a.m. KYRO. Mark Bland, The Q, Saturday afternoon, kicking it with us. Jason Call, Marcus Boston.
Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it.
What? Walk it like I talk it. Yeah.
Walk it like I talk it.
A little Migos to bring us back on this segment of The Q. Simply because I wanted to just throw a little love out there to Takeoff, the member of the Migos that was performing that song right there. He passed away. Killed at a dice game.
That's crazy.
A dice game, ladies and gentlemen. Think about what I just said. This man was walking outside of a bowling alley with other members of his crew, and a dice game pops off. They're all hanging out and playing the game. Everybody's playing the game. Somebody loses, obviously. Obviously, somebody lost. Listen, nobody ever won in a dice game, super happy, turns around as everybody's walking away, just shoots someone and goes, it had to happen. It had to happen. That's just part of the game. No.
There was a fight right
There
before.
was something that happened, an altercation, a disagreement, and probably over money, more likely than not, when you're talking about a dice game.
Somebody with the uncle.
And then, guess what? One member of a very popular, well-known group that had a position of power and influence in our country.
The low-key one, too. It's always a low-key one, quiet when it catches it. Always.
But think about it. Think about the things that, as an alive Takeoff, right? If Takeoff was still alive, think of the opportunities and things he could do to help people in his community. Think of the things that he would do for people with his money and time. And I'm not saying that he was doing those things, but let's be honest, I never heard anything negative about the Migos in the news for the most part, ever. I don't hear about Quavo being a problem, Takeoff, the other one, none of them.
Well, Offset a little bit there.
But not even with Offset. Like that was so
stuff.
It was so low key. That's what I'm saying. Like they were by far, when it comes to rappers, probably one of the few that get into the least amount of issues.
It was always
and trouble.
like low level crimes.
And so when it comes to the stuff with the Migos as a group, it's like these guys, I know for a fact, just from years of working in the music industry, I know for a fact that they're doing nice things for people behind the scenes. I know they are. family members they're taking care of, with paying their bills and helping them out. I know that there are people that they help out that are friends of theirs. I know that they have investments into things that they're working on that help other people develop cool ideas. And yeah, maybe it is a froyo stand and that's just what they decided to get into or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. My point being is by taking that person off the board over a dice game for no reason whatsoever. Okay, if he killed your brother 15 years earlier, got out on an early sentence release, and you happen to be at a dice game and caught up with homeboy, different story. I think people are going to look at that and go, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. That could lead to some issues. I could see that turning into some blood for blood stuff. But in this case, it was just a dice game that went sideways. And now he's gone.
At a bowling alley.
At a bowling alley in Houston. In Houston. Not even where he's from. Not even where he's from, right?
H-Town.
They're not even from Houston.
Meg the Stallion.
Were they inside the bowling alley or outside of it? Just hanging outside?
It was outside, like on the side of the bowling.
Almost like in a parking lot, yeah.
Yeah. It's a bunch of, they got Maybachs and
like, what are you doing there?
Thousands of hundreds of thousands.
People will invite them into events or whatever.
It was somebody's birthday. They had a birthday at the bowling
and they'll get paid for. And they'll listen. A
Jay
good
Prince Jr.'s birthday was that weekend.
A good artist will get offered a walkthrough at a birthday party and they'll do it for $5,000. Yeah. And there'll be parties like this where dudes are just ballers in the hood. Mm-hmm. They got the money. Mm-hmm. They'll flip 10 racks. They'll rent out the bowling alley, get the best DJ from the local radio station. They'll have freaking one of the Migos walk through and be a part of the party to hang out with them and be there. And that'll just all get paid in one big lump sum like that. No questions asked. That happens all the time. That is not unheard of, Jason.
You got the free time.
But I just think it's sad. I just wanted to bring it up. I wanted to bring us back with that song because I think it's sad, and I really wish people thought about things a little bit more clearly. By the way, a young man or person who decided to take that person's life. Now, what's your situation? You had heard about prison from people. Maybe you had been there before. Maybe you had even been there before. But I guarantee you heard about it. If you had never been there, you definitely going now.
Yeah, have fun.
Before you could have just played some dice, lost a few bucks that pissed you off.
Yeah, went home and had a story.
Literally punched the glass on the door at the front of the bowling alley, broke that, and pissed everybody off. But when it was all said and done, you would have gone home with your hand bleeding from the hospital. You would have went and sleep in your own bed for the next foreseeable future. Mm-hmm. He would still be alive, and you would have no problems on your book.
Yeah.
At all, other than a hurt hand. And that's it. But instead, you decided to take someone's life. Crazy. Yeah, right. Let's get back into what we were talking about here with the election that happened. We were talking about Herschel Walker and how there's going to be a runoff in the state of Georgia for this seat. A seat that, kind of like I said at the beginning of the show, Donald Trump style 2016 caught everyone off guard. No one expected him to win. Sure. There are Georgians. Oh, we knew that Herschel was going to win, right, Jay? They knew Herschel was going to win.
It's so crazy. Just imagine if his campaign manager one day just decided he doesn't like him anymore. He doesn't want to work for him anymore. The stuff that he says now, imagine what he would say if someone who didn't like him's feeding him things.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he would have such confidence when he'd talk about it. And it would just, oh my God, could you imagine?
It was very interesting. And, the one that actually kind of made me happy, Jay, the one that I kind of got a little giddy over, guys, is Carrie Lake getting her butt, or Kari Lake, or whatever her name is, getting her butt handed to her down in Arizona. Yeah, but here's the best part about that. Once again, listen, there were only 4 states in the 2020 election that were really focused on as states, or 5 states, where there was election denying and fraud, just according to Republicans, just rampant fraud everywhere, right? And that was
find it, but it was here.
It was Nevada, it was Arizona, it was Pennsylvania, it was Georgia, and Michigan. Was it Michigan or was it Wisconsin? One of those two.
Michigan,
one of those two.
The lady running for governor against the other female governor candidate, she was an election denier. She was a weirdo.
Yeah. But my point being is those were the hot spots for the last. That's where the cyber ninjas, Marcus, the cyber ninjas had to.
They couldn't find anything.
They had to jump into the game.
And what we found was actually more votes for Biden.
Like a couple hundred more.
Shucks.
By the way, Maricopa County. In Maricopa County, directly, it was the cyber ninjas giving their report on Phoenix and all of the Arizona stuff when they said they found more votes for Biden in the state of Arizona. Now,
sorry about that.
Okay, here we are in the 2022 midterm election just 2 years later, and guess what? Only the same exact states were complaining. It wasn't like Missouri was added to the list. No. Idaho jumped on. Oh, by the way, South Dakota was in there along with New Hampshire and Vermont. Nope. It was, in this case, it was immediately Kari Lake. Yep. That's why I brought it up in Maricopa County down there in Arizona, claiming in Arizona that it was a big election problem and fraud that was going on.
Machines are messing up.
Which, by the way, here in Missouri, I noticed something when I went to vote. Now, you tell me where you went to vote. You and me might be in the same spot where we vote at the church.
Elks? No, I'm Elks.
You're at the Elks. Okay. And I'm not sure where you might be voting, but where did you guys for this midterm? Yeah. Not presidential election, just a midterm. Did you see electronic voting machines at all?
No, only the one.
All I had was bubble. All I had was a sheet I had to fill in with bubbles. That's it.
4 of them at my place.
They had 4 electronic voting machines?
Yep.
It was all
we had none out here.
The only electronic machine in the entire building was just the one you fed your ballot in.
None of them want health care. They all got arthritis in their hands. They decide to give themselves bubble fill-in ballots so that arthritis that they can barely write with works so much better.
You know what?
But everybody else is the idiot. Everyone else is the idiot. Marcus.
Most of the polling places just have lazy people, and they probably don't want to wipe that machine down every time someone uses it.
Yeah, it's very possible, but at the same point,
let's just not set them up. Let's just make them fill.
So, I feel like the one thing that was good about the election when it went down, when it was all said and done, I felt like there wasn't as much of an issue by any means with the fraud accusations.
Mm-hmm. I haven't heard
during or after. We had Kari Lake. I brought that up, and it was ridiculous and stupid. It was the same places, like I said. But overall, we didn't have more of that in Georgia. We didn't have them talking about it in Pennsylvania, that there's fraud or none of that. We haven't heard about any of that. So I feel like people are now coming out of their stupor of the Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And let's talk a little bit about that for a second. Donald Trump.
But, his shine's been wearing off for a long time.
Remember, I famously told you about the video where Donald Trump was getting interviewed on election night.
Yeah,
and he basically told him if they win,
it's all me.
It's because of me. Right. They have to thank me. They need to thank me. My ego needs this. This almost sounds like the podcast Zaddy actually giving this decree.
That is not true.
It sounds like I'm going to be dead honest with you guys. By the way, I call him Zaddy. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus is a member of the Soulardians. It's a podcaster in the St. Louis area, very popular, well-known, been around for a while. He's also the head of Always Forward Media, which is the Q is tied into Always Forward Media. I host shows with him over there. And one of his little monikers that he has, he calls his actual middle name is Onesimus, right?
Onesimus, yes,
it is Onesimus. Which is that just oneness? It's oneness.
I mean, it's from Mississippi.
Okay, but he calls himself the Mob. He likes to call himself the podcast Zaddy with a Z,
pew, 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 pew.
Like Zach, but with Daddy. I said that earlier, and so that's why I call him that. But because there was a lack of the fraud accusations.
Okay.
Yeah, I did feel like that everything had a smoother vibe to it. Mm-hmm. It might not have gone the way the red wave the Republicans were talking about, that Donald Trump, who we are talking about right now, was supposed to bring on. Like, if you're on the internet only, Donald Trump was bringing the red wave, right? To everybody offline, it was just supposed to be the Republicans were supposed to win and do a lot better. And by the way, this is why I mentioned Mark Bland, guys, earlier. Me and Jay were actually talking about it on election night directly. Right. I came on this show. Everybody gave their prognostications, including John Shepard when he was on the show with us. We all gave our prognostications, and I said, I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, and the Democrats are going to eke it out. And that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. It is a lot closer than everybody thought. The Democrats have been cheering about this now for a while. The Republicans have been burying their heads in their hands for a few days now. It's where we're at, and the truth is that the Democrats might eke it out with the Warnock-Herschel Walker situation.
And, I think I remember actually saying that I thought that the Republicans would probably end up with a 10 or 15 seat lead.
Something like that, yeah.
They got 9.
Yeah, they got 9.
You said that the Democrats would do way better and hold the Senate, and they probably will.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. And this can all be verified with audio. We can play it back for you anytime you'd all like to hear it.
Site.
Well, yeah, you can go to the site and down to theqnow.com, TheQNOW.com. Old episodes, new episodes, everything in between. By the way, the show's sponsored by John Beal Roofing. John Beal Roofing, 1-800-JOHN-BEAL. That's 1-800-JOHN-BEAL. All your roofing issues, siding, guttering, any work for your house that you need, call John Beal, 1-800-JOHN-BEAL. But the Donald Trump, I think you're right, Jay, when you said it didn't pan out for them the way they thought it would. He's losing a little bit of his luster, and I think the January 6th stuff has been sticking in people's minds. I think that when it was all said and done, I think two things. Well, I've got a few different things. I'm going to talk about that in the next segment. I'm going to talk about a few different things that I noticed from this. But this situation with Donald Trump leading into 2024 is looking like what I said.
Yeah.
Again, which was I don't think he was going to be there. I think it was a situation that he just wasn't going to run again is all I've said. I didn't say it was because he was going to die. I didn't say it was going to be because of this or that. Like I've just said, he's not going to be there. He's not going to run again. Like I don't think it's going to happen. And I think by losing some of this luster that we saw, literally people voted to prove to you the red wave and the argument wasn't there.
Like if you count his 2018 midterm and 2020, and then in between there a couple of like special elections,
sure,
his candidates. He's lost more than he's won.
Yeah, he's lost a lot more. And by the way, we used to make the joke when he was president of the United States. If he endorsed you for that 2020 election that was coming up, you were probably going to lose. And when it came to election night, they all lost.
Yeah, except the ones that like real red dislike.
Remember in the 2018 midterm election, it was the guy with the 2 pistols on his hip down in Georgia.
Well,
down in Georgia, Alabama, or whatever it was. It was Alabama or Georgia, and he was the big Trump guy that everybody, and he ended up losing.
Well, in 2020, this year, 2022, Madison Cawthorn lost his primary.
Yeah,
and potentially,
and Lauren Boebert
potentially is.
I mean, Lauren Boebert. I don't know.
More likely to lose than to win.
From what I know, and I haven't checked on the results. I mean, it's been a few days now, so the results might be a little bit deeper.
She got bodied.
But as far as I knew, the last time I checked on Boebert, she was losing.
Yes,
that's the last time I checked. I have no idea if she did win or lose, or how it ended up playing out for her. But where I'm at right now is. Lauren Boebert, I think, was losing the last time I checked.
Yes.
So, and by the way, like all of this has to get certified. The votes have to get certified. Everything's got to go down that way. It's just one of those things.
Speaking of her, people talk about Trump like needing to hold on to it because he needed that position. Nobody needs this more than she does.
Yeah.
What is she going to do without being a representative? Like, what? She has nothing to offer.
You have literally nothing to offer the world. You're going to end up in a nail salon. It's cool. It's fine. It's not a problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break here on 1280 AM KYRO. News Radio, KYRO.com. And when we come back, more with myself, Marcus Boston from the Soulardians, as well as our friend Jason Call. We'll be back after this. $12:80 a.m. KYRO. Little Frankie Beverly to bring you back here on this beautiful Saturday. Marcus Boston, Jason Call. Midterm elections 2022. We're discussing it. We're breaking it down with a little Frankie. Bringing you guys back in the right way. That's all I wanted to do. Bring you back in the right way. Make you feel good, Marcus. Make you feel good all in your cuckles. Your cuckles. All in your spirit. All right. Marcus is our guest today. And we haven't really talked to Marcus about Marcus stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I'm back.
We haven't talked to Marcus about Marcus stuff yet, and we're going to do that here in a little bit.
Do it.
And the reason we're going to do this, Jason, pull that mic to you. Talk on that bad boy. Just bring that up to your mouth because I want to hear your opinions. I want to bring it right in. It looks exactly just like one of those. Glizzy time. All right.
No
now,
phones in here, are there?
No.
All right.
The reason I want to talk about Marcus is so you might not know this because you just met Marcus.
That's true.
But Marcus famously on his social media says "F those kids." That's his thing. He says "F those kids." That's his thing. F those kids. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Single man life for real, right?
Yes,
single
sir.
man for life.
Sir. Yep.
Single man life.
Not for life.
Now see, that's where it is.
Don't ruin it.
Right there. That right there is how I knew.
Yeah.
Where I was going to go with this, ladies and gentlemen, because our friend Marcus.
That's like F the kids
I know.
agnostic.
Okay. Oh, yeah. This could be kind of like agnosticism right here. But here, check this out. I know that deep down in that heart, this man wants love in his life. And he's got an auction coming up where he's getting auctioned off to ladies of the night.
Of the night.
Getting auctioned off the hookers?
To the highest bidder. I'm here to be sold,
Well,
ladies.
hey, there are ladies that are going to be there that night. They are the ladies of that night. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, but
good luck.
He is going to be auctioned off. But here's the problem. I know he's Mr. F them kids, right?
That's like an STD.
It's like that, but I know he wants love too, so I'm confused. Jason, I'm honestly, in my heart, confused for my friend Marcus Boston because I don't know if he truly wants love or not.
A lady who also doesn't.
So what I've decided to do is you and me are going to interview Marcus, and we're going to ask him some relationship questions.
Yeah.
We're going to ask some deep questions for this man to really dig in his teeth on and let us know where he stands so that we can figure out maybe based off these questions, yes, he is definitely F them kids, or no, this man deserves love. He's got love coming to him.
We're going to get deep.
I want to know where we're at. He's got Cognac Corner. He's got all these different podcasts where he likes to talk about love this, love that. I don't. Mark's going to really deep dive on our boy Marcus.
And I'm going to watch.
The Onesimus will be in the building. There will be no Marcus Boston. There will be no Mob. There will be Onesimus, the Mississippi Southern middle name, hanging out from Always Forward Media.
Woo, buddy.
Go on, Mark. Get deep in Marcus.
All right, we will. We'll get deep in Marcus here in just a little bit. But before we get deep in Marcus, let's talk about a few things, guys. Couple things just for everybody out there that's like, what about Missouri? You live in Missouri. What about the midterms of Missouri? Missouri kind of went the way we all expected. Me and Jason decided that we were going to go catch up with some of the Democrats at the Democrat watch party.
Missouri was like going and watching your kid play baseball against like a traveling team.
Right. Well,
just,
to be absolutely honest,
a couple of them got a couple of hits, but really they just got hammered and 14 kids pitched and they all sucked and
that's hilarious.
That was it.
So me and Jason, we weren't invited to any Republican watch parties, so we ended up going to a Democrat watch party, which was cool. It was fine, and while we were there, we watched as the returns were coming in and saw who was won. And most of Missouri went red the way they expected it to.
Outside of maybe some Kansas City districts, I think all of them were red.
Every single one of them was red. But there were a few ballot initiatives that failed. But the one that we should talk about is huge because we definitely also put our opinions on that on the election show, the midterm show before the elections last week. We said that it was probably going to pass.
Yeah.
And it did pass. And we now have recreational marijuana in the state of Missouri. I would be willing to bet that it's not immediately right this second, probably the first of the year.
Yeah.
I would assume January 1st of 2023.
This isn't like February in the news, but I mean,
it's very possible. It doesn't really matter.
I mean, who knows? Is there going to be anybody in the new Senate and House that's going to try to stop it?
Possibly. I don't know.
That's going to happen.
Well, yeah, I think that's kind of weird that the state.
I don't know how you approach that.
But yeah, how do you approach that? Let's be honest, guys. Marcus, you too. I want you in on this.
How do you?
say
no?
Literally, if everybody in the state was given the opportunity to vote, it was put on the ballot for everyone, one person, one vote, because that's how states handle their stuff. One person, one vote.
Yep.
The majority of Missourians want it recreational, for sure.
Well,
if you walk into the House, even if you represent Republicans, and you're sitting there at the stateside, and you're like, nope, I'm going to try to stop this. Literally, what grounds would you have? Oh, the this, the that. There's no grounds you have because it was up for everyone to vote on. Everyone had an opinion, and that's what they answered.
I mean, game, set, match.
If you polled,
it's not electoral. It's not electoral. Is what I'm saying. Like it's not an opinion.
Every single Missourian had to vote. It would still have passed because 53% of voting Missourians voted for it. Who do you think? The people who don't vote, who tries to vote yes for weed?
Who tries to stop it?
Of course they would.
Holly, Schmidt, right?
Schmidt.
Does Parsons try to just stop it straight up for himself?
I don't know if he
or do you think one of these lower level losers?
Schmidt he'll do something.
You think it'll be him?
He'll
create
something out. But here, although he's a state, he's not a state senator, so he might.
You were the one that was. Were you the one that was telling us about the school districts with Schmidt and how they lost their butts? On the lawsuits.
They had to pay so much money to fight him in court because he wouldn't leave them alone over masks.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, your state senator that you just elected here in the state of Missouri has literally been harassing and hassling school districts with COVID-19 masks and procurement-related lawsuits. Lawsuits, and it's not just that is costing the districts hundreds of thousands of dollars to fight these lawsuits, and that is your money that you already paid in for taxes to make sure that the public schools have money to do this and that and the other thing. Now they have to pull from that same money to fight your own legislator who is trying to accuse them of being bad, this, that. All they were is schools dealing with COVID the same way everyone else did.
And it's
everyone else did.
It's your district, too. It's everyone who's listening throughout the state, it's your district. If you did it, if you tried to protect children in any way, he came after you.
That's right.
Your lawyers
you got lawyers for your school district. Yep. They're getting harassed and hassled and
assistance. You gotta pay for all of that.
That's craziness, ladies and gentlemen.
Money that could go to whatever.
But imagine
football helmet.
You're complaining about taxes being raised all the time, and how these kids don't ever get the money, and the schools never get the money, and all you're doing is electing this guy to higher powered positions so he can turn around and do more of this to take more of your money and waste it on lawsuits for nothing. Whether it's lawsuits on behalf of the state of Missouri or the school district that you are putting money out for your kids to go to so that you can go to work during the day, they can get an education, and now they are spending all of that kid's money and the other kids that go to that school district, all that money on lawsuits. They could have spent that, like you said, on helmets or something else,
or
whatever.
I'm sure it's thousands of dollars.
Headbands, Nike headbands.
Yeah.
Hey, they talk my language.
You like Nike headbands?
Think about how many more
We're not talking your language, are we?
Lost me with kids. I was like,
Marcus is being really quiet because he's not. He's really not politically motivated, though he does have his political background.
Yeah, I'm pretty decent. I just,
he's got his background.
I like to listen.
All right, so that's Missouri. Let me finish up here on this midterm stuff. I want to say this, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Political currency has changed.
Yes.
As someone who has spent almost my entire adult life in politics and dealing with it, I know other people that have too, like President Biden, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he learned that the winning formula for voters is probably to pass bills and spend money. Like, passing bills and spending money signals problems are being solved, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
No,
like, that's the way I view this. And so if everybody is watching Joe Biden get up there, do a press conference, and he turns around and he wants to do COVID relief, right? Or the infrastructure bill.
Yeah.
Or the Science Act stuff, the chips or whatever it was, the Inflation Reduction Act that he did, whatever it is. He's up there talking about those things, and then he goes and he passes laws to do that. And it's going to take student debt relief, right? Yeah. It's going to. Was that part of the Inflation Reduction Act? Was it pieced together? It was just it's separate. But I'm just saying, like, to help people out, and they can see it helping them out. Like, that is the problem for the Democrats. It's not producing quick results.
Yeah. I tell you what,
few candidates embraced spending as a problem solver.
Well, Ukraine better hurry up and win that war, because come January, that money's gone.
Hey, come on. I'm sorry. Oops, sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
No, that mic's gone. He's done. Ladies and gentlemen, I had a 7-second dump. I had to do a 7-second dump to this guy. That's crazy. Just live on the radio, just saying the S word.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't care.
Yeah,
it's just
Ukraine,
it was so bad I can't even
sorry.
spell it.
I'm sorry.
I cannot tell your mom in front of you
Ukraine
what you
threw me
said
off.
because it is so
I'm sorry,
bad.
Ukraine.
I have to wait until we're alone.
Sorry, Ukraine.
But ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm trying to say here. Like, you're right. If this goes the way it could, with Warnock losing, then Herschel Walker's in, and then they have control, the spending on Ukraine is gone.
Unless you find some Republicans with some spines that will cross over and
That's
okay this money. Otherwise, you're done.
There was a lot of Latina women that came out and voted. There was a lot of... First off, one thing I do want to mention, white women. White women voted in massive numbers.
Yeah.
For Republicans.
Yeah, a bunch of them did.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Republicans
Those are women-hating women.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump took Republicans like Brett Kavanaugh, put them on the Supreme Court along with a few others, and then they turned around and overturned Roe v. Wade, leaving your daughters and children and families unsure of what's going to happen in their world, their lives, if things...
Got zero backup.
There's nothing. We don't know what's going on there. And all you white women turned around and went and voted for the same people that took those rights away from you? Right. What is the value? Listen, what was the point of all your women's suffrage and complaining about how you don't get paid as well?
Just gonna do something
if every time you're just going to turn around and just do the opposite of what is benefiting you? That doesn't make any sense. I'm just talking to women in general. I said white women mostly voted for Republicans. That's stupid, but women in general. Latinas came out heavily. Vox is reporting a surge of Republican Latina candidates. Also, there's growing frustration in the Hispanic community that the Democrats no longer reflect their values, and we're seeing more candidates that are willing to run because of it. According to, let's see here, Olivia Perez Cubas of Winning for Women, a group dedicated to electing Republican women. The movement among voters of colors towards Republicans could be viewed as their own declaration of independence and their rejection of identity politics. So you had a lot of them come out for the Republicans in 2022.
What is that all about? Why do they vote for Republicans? They want you out of this country.
This one could end up just being the last moment. The media has lost its way. I kind of noticed that. They kept bringing up Trump on election night over and over and over. He wasn't even in the election at all.
He didn't even come
They kept
out.
talking about it. The legacy media's refusal to report on reality events that people saw with their own eyes cost them even more credibility with the Americans. The trend is particularly true with independent voters, who Gallup found moved from 42% in 2018 to 27% in 2022. When asked whether they had a fair amount of trust and confidence in the mass media to report the news fully, accurately, and fairly, ignoring daily newsworthy events at southern border, denying inflation, and downplaying crime in major cities during most of the election season could make legacy media a little less relevant. Mainstream media will have to rethink itself and refocus on delivering more news and a lot less commentary. And I can honestly agree with that.
Right.
I really can agree with that. But it looks like the Republican Party might have a new face. A face we've talked about a few times, guys, but Ron DeSantis.
Face. Not orange, just tan.
Ron DeSantis did win in Florida. He won pretty heavily, pretty handily. We knew that was coming. That wasn't a surprise to anybody. But
his wife's kind of hot. Did you see her standing next to him?
Sure. But
nice. She's pretty.
Do you think this is the man that ends up being the presidential candidate for the Republican Party?
Well,
2024.
Did you see what Trump said?
No.
Trump said if DeSantis runs, I've got something I'm going to say about him that's not so flattering or something like that. Yeah.
What's he going to call him, a pig or something?
No,
like, what's going to happen?
He basically insinuated that he's got some dirt on
that's
DeSantis.
He's got dirt on everyone, right?
Terrible.
He's like, hey, they got dirt on you too.
Like,
don't touch that box, Mr. FBI agent.
Think about it. You know what? Remember that crazy story that came out that said that Ted Cruz, like Lauren Boebert, worked for some kind of hookup website, and Ted Cruz was one of her clients, like years ago, like 10 years ago maybe, before she became anything. And I don't know how true that is or not. It's probably not true. But, then you look at...
Hey, Jason, it's me over here. It's Alex Jones. What's going on, Jay? Hey, listen. I've got 30% off on those boner pills right now. You just talk about Ron DeSantis' wife, that hot piece of butt. I swear to God, I love that so much. Hey, listen, that's me, Alex Jones over here. Hey, Infowars.com. You don't worry about that. Listen, here's the deal. Boner pills, 45% off. We've got the Quisenberries with Staz. Listen, and Ron DeSantis,
I mentioned
greatest
Florida. That's
human being of all time. That's right, Ron DeSantis. Hail Satan. Hail all of it. That's right.
But no, what I'm saying is, look at what Ted Cruz
How
did.
does he get in here? Jay.
I said FLO. I don't even
You
want to
said
spell
his
it.
wife was hot, and that just reminded him
But
of
it
his
had
boner
some-
pills.
Oh, that was probably it.
That made
But think about it. Trump,
Alex Jones shows up every once in a while on our show out of the complete blue.
Yeah,
It's
he
weird.
just comes.
Sorry, Marcus. Anyway, go ahead and finish your thought. We're going to take it to break.
But look what Trump said to about Ted Cruz's wife, and then Ted Cruz was so nice to him for 4 years. What does he have on Ted Cruz? I bet it's Lauren Boebert. I bet that's true. That's going to end up being true because look at these guys.
Lauren Boebert was with DeSantis?
No, that she was
with
like
Cruz.
an escort for Cruz.
Oh, yeah.
Before she became a representative, she did what she did.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us on our midterm wrap-up and discussion. We might still talk about things here and there because it's fresh, because something can happen. So don't worry about all that. But when we come back, Brack? Is that a word? Is Brack a word?
It will be
At least I didn't say on the live on the air.
Sorry.
That's not even a word.
Exactly. All right, so here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break here on the Q on 1280 AM KYRO. And when we come back, more with myself, Jason Cole, and Mr. Boston. We'll be back after this.
Yeah.
105.3, 1280 AM KYRO. The Q, Mark Plan. Our mighty good man, Marcus Boston from the Soulardians and Always Forward, joining us today, along with another Whatta Man himself, Jason Call.
Yeah.
That's right, baby. So, ladies and gentlemen, earlier, Beefcake over here, Onesimus, we talked to him a little bit here on the air about this plan I had. And the plan was simple, ladies and gentlemen. I can explain this to anybody out there very quickly. Our friend Onesimus, Marcus, our friend Marcus over here, gets on social media quite often, and he talks about F them kids and Mr. Single Life and all this other stuff. And I know deep down in his heart, because I've known him for so long, that he's got love. He's got love deep down in that heart. He wants to find love. Correct, Marcus?
I love love.
Would you say? No. I need you to pay attention and talk to us. Would you say for sure that you are looking for love in your life? If you could find it the exact way you're looking for it, would you accept it? Like you're looking for love, like a relationship.
Open to receive it.
A relationship.
Yes.
Now, the reason I bring this up, ladies and gentlemen, is because on, was it December 16th?
Yes, December 16th is a Friday.
It's the Purple Gala.
Purple Gala, baby.
That's right. The Purple Gala is going on, and they are auctioning some gentlemen off.
Some fine young men.
Some
and
fine
beautiful
young men's and beautiful ladies that are going to get auctioned off for charity.
Yes, for the Kate Loves Jack's Foundation.
That's
Purple
right.
Gala.
And that's on December 16th. What time?
7 to 11.
And that's at Andres?
Andres South at 4254 Telegraph Road, St. Louis, Missouri, 63129.
Fair enough. So, when I heard that he was getting auctioned off, Jason,
yes,
it kind of blew my mind because I'm like, oh, wait a second. Now, this isn't
kids.
It's an easy move for Marcus because he likes to be Mr. Single Life. And so, like, a girl to, pay to want to hang out with him and then they go and have a good date night or whatever like that, that's going to flow easy. Marcus is an easy dude to hang out with and get treated right by. Like he's easy on the eyes. He's easy on the eyes. He's a sexy beast.
I do my best.
He's a sexy beast. But I felt like maybe there's a little bit more to this. Maybe I don't understand why Mr. F those kids is so into that.
Is it a cause?
By the way, when we say F those kids, we're saying that in a like, forget those kids. Get rid of those kids. We don't want them around. Like, get them out of our life. Don't talk to us about that in a relationship. We're talking about the 2022 vernacular in use for those statements right there. Now, we can all answer some of these questions together, but I got some questions for you.
Absolutely.
And I think that me and Jason, we need to, we need to kind of like dig in to the Marcus.
Talk to me.
We got to come and talk to you. That's what we got to do. So question number 1.
All right.
If you are willing to go down this road with us.
Let's go, baby.
Let's find out a little bit about Marcus. Here, let me get my pen. Make sure I got my pen so I can write things down in case I want to remember them. And record it.
It's facts.
Do you consider yourself an introvert, an extrovert, or an ambivert? Like, you don't care. Either way.
I'm probably an introvert.
Talking to that microphone.
I'm actually,
act like you've been a professional broadcaster at some point.
I would probably say I'm an extrovert.
Okay.
But, like, I like my time alone. So, like, is the ambivert? I never heard ambivert before.
That's both. You could be both.
Okay, I'm ambivert.
You're an ambivert?
I do both. Like, I love a community, but I also love being alone.
Okay, that's fair. Right. That's fair. What about you, Jay? Are you an introvert, extrovert, ambivert?
I'm right there, too, with him.
I'm definitely an extrovert. The ambivert, I listen, I have my times at night where I'm by myself. Well, guys, you understand this. As you get older, ladies and gentlemen, you all understand this listening in your cars or around the world, wherever you're listening to the show right now.
Well, you know what, though? I was like, when I was a kid, like teenager, early 20s,
sure.
I was like an introvert, like a spider. Because then, like, girls would come in and be like, "Why is he so quiet?" And then,
and then
my extrovert side would come out.
Wow, that's almost
like,
creepy Dahmer style kind of
right?
Like, wait a minute.
Well, I didn't kill him.
Wait a second. We decided to try to figure out Marcus's love life, and we ended up finding out that our friend Jason's a serial killer. Holy crap.
Piled up bodies, buddy.
On this episode of Unsolved Mysteries,
on the SVU.
Mark Bland hosted a radio show. Jason Cole was a co-host.
Do not Doppler
Then one Wednesday night, Marcus Boston showed up.
That I've lived in.
Someone called Jack McCoy.
Do not. Whatever that thing they do, they look in the ground to see bodies, just don't do that anywhere in Illinois, for sure.
What is the biggest thing you're looking forward to coming in this upcoming week? So looking forward down the road over the next week or so, what is something you're looking forward to? Is there anything?
Having brunch and going to see Black Panther 2.
So you want to go see Black Panther?
Yes.
All right. Now that is a comic book. Girls might think that that's a little dorky. It's possible.
But I think a lady would
I'm just going to be honest with you. You're going to take a lady with you. Is this a date or is this just a...
she might like it.
Yeah, we have committed ourselves to being each other's date movie partners.
Okay. All right. So this is a movie partner thing.
Yes.
You have movie partners.
I have a movie
Have you ever had a movie partner? I mean, I have a wife who's going to movies with me. But you have a movie partner?
I had a sex partner that I happened to see movies with.
Did you jump on her?
Well, yeah.
Did you attack her?
Is she still alive?
Out of nowhere. Is she still alive? Did you bite her?
Wait, have you been to Illinois?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Do not take a shovel to Illinois.
Okay.
Just leave it there.
It's always under construction.
Yeah, right.
Marcus, if you had enough money to help you follow your passions, what would you pursue? What would you do?
I would create a creative community of different ways of being your best self. So I would build some kind of complex mixed in with like a studio and a garden and a helicopter pad and maybe like a yacht station.
Okay.
And it would be to educate and be creative without being
not to be a superhero with a secret lair. It sounds like you built a secret lair like Tony Stark off the ocean. Is what
I want to be Iron Man.
He's like, it's going to have a laboratory. It's going to have a secret cave entrance from the backside no one else knows about.
The bookcase turns around as a slide down
downstairs. To be that smart.
It would be fun. It would be fun. No, that would be fun.
Weapons and
okay.
Be like, yeah.
If you were asked to pick only one type of food to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be? Jason, think about that for a second on your end too.
Food?
One food One type of food to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be? So I guess you could say a type of food would be like steak. So anything only steak-based things.
Dinner based around that.
Only steak-based things.
Oh, yeah.
One food. So if you say Cheetos, it's Cheetos, all Cheetos, all the time.
You're dead in 2 months.
Can I go with sushi?
You could. That's an option.
Well, I mean, sushi rolls, not like the sushi. I mean sushi rolls, like Sushi AI.
Just grab it.
If I can have the menu of Sushi AI for the rest of my life, I'll be fine.
Just the menu of Sushi AI for the rest of your life.
The dinner menu. For the rest of
Sushi
my life.
AI needs to get on top of this for this free promotion that Marcus is just doing for Sushi. No, you're fine.
Out on the banks of the lake.
You're fine. We just said Sushi AI ourselves. I just said it again. Like, it's fine. We can say it as much as you want. My point being is that they should be giving you money for your promotions.
Absolutely.
Especially if you like it that much that you choose it as the food to eat for the rest of your life.
It's enough variety on that menu. I'll never get bored.
What is the strangest thing your date ever did that turned you off completely while on a date? While on a date.
I don't think I've had nothing like that.
You've never had a situation where a girl was on a date with you and did something that turned you off? Like,
oh, yeah.
What was yours, Jay?
I went on a one-time date. I'm pretty sure it was
a one-time date.
I'm pretty sure it was one time. Pretty sure it was one time. Anyway, this girl wore, remember, like back in the mid '90s, the white stirrup stretch pants, which would be considered leggings today.
Oh yes, I do remember those.
She wore a white pair of those with a sweater over it, but must have been on her period.
Oh my goodness!
And
that time of the month. Huh?
She was walking ahead of me because I had let her out of the car, and I went around and locked it. And then she kept walking, and I got behind her, was catching up, and I looked, and you could see it. There was a big round, like
just
bigger,
spot.
Yeah, bigger than a quarter spot.
Oh my gosh!
Wow!
And I never told her.
But you're right.
She still doesn't know.
But that's what I'm talking about right there, Marcus.
Wow.
That
I'm sure
is
she knew when she got home.
Something that would definitely turn a person off.
Yes.
I love that commercial. You remember that commercial in the 90s where it happened during the Super Bowl, and it ended up getting played more after the Super Bowl, like they all do.
Yeah.
But it was the one where the girl gets on the date, she gets into the car.
And farts?
And then farts, and he opens up the door, and he goes, "It smells musty in here." And she goes, eh. And then he asked his two friends in the back seat, and she didn't realize they were back there. It was fantastic.
I agree.
Wow.
That's a great commercial.
He gets in the car and he's like,
"That's good. That's good."
So what about you, Marcus?
Wow,
nothing on a date?
No, I have nothing.
Okay. So you haven't had anything to ruin your view of women. You know what I'm saying? To make you go, hey, these type of things have happened on dates. I don't like women for that. If you won the lottery today, what is one thing that you would buy first? First thing you would buy, not pay off, buy something you would buy.
Oh man, it would have to be. If it's locally, it would have to be like the top floor of like some high rise.
The top floor of a high rise?
Yeah, like a high rise condo, so I can see the city.
No.
All right. Last question, and then me and Jason are going to kind of break down the Marcus. Okay?
Break it down.
Oh man.
What is one thing that you wish you could change about yourself? One thing you wish you could change about yourself, and I hope all the ladies for the Jacks for the Purple Gala, the Jacks for Kate Foundation thing, I hope they all listen to this interview about you.
Yeah.
And learn these things so that they know what they're getting into when it comes time to be with the one Onesimus.
If one thing I want to change about myself,
something that you know about yourself, private or not private.
I'm very passive. I wish I was a little bit more aggressive with things.
You want to be aggressive.
Yeah.
More aggressive. You would give yourself an uptick.
I wish I was more
aggressive.
impulsive. I think impulsive.
Have you tried cocaine?
It's inhibiting. You'll love it.
Deny nor
You'll be way more aggressive.
It doesn't change. Like it doesn't change me enough. I'm still like me. Like I'm just me. Doing
You're just you doing
faster.
drugs. Yeah, exactly. All right, fair enough. Well,
I would be more impulsive.
Jason, we've listened to our friend over here. He has explained a few different things to us. He's explained to us that he's an ambivert, right?
Yep,
inside, outside, likes kind of a little bit of both in that world. He's looking forward to the Black Panther movie, and it's a date with a friend of his. You know, they got the movie date thing going on there.
I'm suspicious of that friend.
You're suspicious of the friend? I wouldn't be suspicious of the friend.
I moved to the left, and boom, I got a picture. I could see his face.
Yeah.
And he was like, I got my friend, and his face was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like his friend, like, his face just did it.
His friend John.
I'm not saying
his
like
friend John.
Yeah, I'm not saying like he was smiling, like he was like all Cheshire cat. Like his face just did it, like a dog, like his face, it's like a Pavlov's Marcus face.
A Pavlov's Marcus face.
Yeah, and he's like, my friend, movies in his face.
Fair enough.
His face is like,
that's good job,
I know where this is going.
Yeah,
all right, so we're getting ready to take a break here in a minute, and then we're going to switch off to doing something else a little bit more fun for all of us. But where do we stand? Do we feel that Marcus is an unlovable human being?
No, he's very affable.
I feel that he is very affable. I think that
good word choice.
Marcus chooses the F those kids' life, and truthfully inside, he does want love. I feel that he's sensitive enough, you know. He takes people on dates to do things like that. He doesn't have anything that's ever turned him off about a date.
Because you know what he
or
can
anything
do?
Like that.
He could just transition into F those grandkids.
And by the way, the thing that he wanted to change about himself was he wanted to be less passive, more aggressive, like just take things in a head-on manner a little bit more. Like, I feel that that's really valuable aspect of a human being. Like, if you were to date someone and marry them, you want them to be a little bit more go-getter, like out there pushing it. You know what I'm saying? I get that.
He's going to get too aggressive. He's going to get a girl pregnant.
So,
don't say that. Don't say that.
At this point,
I'm going to get a call like 3 months from now.
Oh, no.
I hate you. I don't know what your problem is.
See you with the baby shower. Bring a big gift.
I feel
it's all your fault.
This is where we're registered.
I feel that Marcus
at Louis Vuitton store.
He is a diva to an extent, but I will say this: I feel that Marcus is very affable, like you said. I think that this is a perfect person to be at the Purple Gala on December 16th. It starts at what time?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. and it's at Andre South in off Telegraph.
4254 Telegraph Road, 63129.
And Marcus, you will be there.
Absolutely, being sold off to the highest bidder.
The highest bidder. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join in on that fun right there, Marcus is one of the competitors. That's going on coming up December 16th. So we're going to take a quick break here on the Q. When we come back, I've got an impromptu tournament of pop culture, Jason. Out of nowhere. We'll be back on the Q after this.
RKO of pop culture.
Palm trees, square dancing under the moon. Sunsets, they ain't got nothing on you.
105.3 FM, 1280 AM, KYRO. Mark Bland, The Q, Jason Call, Marcus Boston over there. We just decided that our boy Marcus is a sexy beast that deserves love in his life, and it's just a character he puts on all over the social medias. That's it.
Should bid. Bid well, ladies.
Anybody asking or wondering, the song is called Cowboy in L.A. by Lanny. L-A-N-Y. There you go. If you're interested in the song, I just like bringing the show back by different songs and letting people learn about things and stuff like that. I think it just goes back to my old days being on the radio as like a on-air broadcaster with like a music station or something like that. Regardless, you are listening to The Q. We are sponsored by John Beal. That's 1-800-JOHN-BEAL. All roofing, siding, guttering issues you have in the St. Louis area, make sure you call 1-800-JOHN-BEAL, JOHNBEAL, for your stuff. And also thank you to KYRO for having us on this station every single week. We appreciate them a lot, too. Guys, I don't know how quickly we can do this, but we got 2 segments.
Let's do it.
Okay.
And I feel like with these 2 segments, we might be able to run through the best action movies since 1980s, right?
Okay.
I got 4 regions, right? The 80s, the 90s, 2000s, 2010s.
Oh, man, you going for
Okay?
You ambitious.
And we're going to start with the 80s region. That's where we're going to start here on the end of the show here. Now, I don't know if we're going to get to the other sections or not, but this 80s segment is a pretty solid bracket that we got to go through here.
Okay.
Now, this is not a bracket I made up, ladies and gentlemen. This is one that I found online. But when I was perusing through it, I was like, wow, they really nailed a few things. Okay? So let's do this. This is the 80s region, the 1980s region. Right. These are action movies. So basically, I guess we're just doing the best action movies of the 1980s right now.
Right now.
Right
It's
now.
going to go up against someone else from another decade.
In another decade, and eventually we're going to try to break it all the way down. Here we go. Starting this off, we have Die Hard. Die Hard, a very popular, very well-known, very good action movie,
Right.
okay? Original Die Hard. Die Hard.
Probably the best non-Arnold action movie.
This is going to be a tough one, ladies and gentlemen, though. This is going to be a tough one, Marcus. It's going up against Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
I've just committed suicide.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That's right. Short round. All of that.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I got to go Indiana Jones, too. I feel like it's better than Die Hard.
It's the best Indiana Jones film.
My favorite Die Hard is...
But it was just, it's even like the whip and the whole, like everything.
Yeah.
It's.
But Die Hard might not even be the best Die Hard.
It's not. I like the one with Sam
Right?
myself.
That's
I
pretty
can
good.
watch that every day and be okay. And when it was on
Even
TV, I
like,
will stop and watch
If
it.
you get the rated R version, the Live Free or Die Hard one's pretty good.
It's not bad.
If you get the rated R.
If it's
You
on,
guys are really mean and loud. No, you're just yelling. I don't know why you're
excited.
yelling. It's a microphone.
Really far away
Bruce
from
Willis
each
make
other.
me.
We
Bruce
can
Willis
turn
get
it
me
down.
excited.
We can always turn it up. It's not a big deal.
Bruce Willis got me excited. So.
All right. Next round, we have Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade
Not as good.
Sean Connery.
Not as good.
versus Aliens.
I'm going
I
Sean-
feel like this is Aliens,
I'm going,
right?
I'm going Sean Connery.
It's Aliens.
It's Aliens with the S. Yes, the sequel, the best Aliens
I'm going Sean
movie.
Connery. I'm going Sean Connery.
You're going Sean Connery?
Yeah.
I mean, I do love the speech he gives to Indy because he's dying and all that. Like, I love that.
It's a little campier.
Is it better than Aliens, though? Aliens gives us the mech warrior fight at the end and
It gives you
everything.
everything Bill Paxton did. That's just
all
really
of
tough.
it's really good. I got to go Aliens. Marcus is going Indiana Jones. I'm
I've
going
got to go
Aliens.
Indiana Jones. 'Cause
Yes!
It's a better film. It's just better acted.
Yes.
Not by much.
Indiana Jones
tell you what,
wins
good job.
again.
Let's go. baby.
If you count VHS movies, I rented.
I feel like
in the
that's an
summer,
upset. I
Aliens
feel like
probably win.
I feel like that's an upset. Indiana Jones' Last Crusade of all
'Cause when I was-
over
when I was
Aliens.
a-
That's an upset.
When I was a
Love
kid,
it.
before I finally bought it, that
Okay.
was one I
I
rented
love
all
it
the
here.
time.
No, you suck. I don't want to hear that. Okay, you suck. And finally, evidently, the Indiana Jones movies, and they were very good movies. Indiana Jones, right, and Raiders of the Lost Ark, the original one,
Why are you playing?
versus Red Dawn. Oh, that's a tough loss for Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm sorry. I got to go Red Dawn. I got to go Red Dawn for nostalgia purposes
Yeah,
alone.
I'll
I
go
got to
Red
go.
Dawn.
Raiders of the Lost Ark is great, but it's
you know what?
wait. Listen.
Fit in to get in. I'll go Red Dawn too.
I mean, Indiana Jones got two. Like, I can't go.
But you know what? A younger,
Think about it this
a
way.
younger
Think about it
me
this way.
loved Red Dawn.
Think about it this way. Rocky 1 and 2 are great. Right? Rocky 1 and 2 are great. Like Academy
not the
Award
one
winning
people
film.
remember.
But Rocky 3 with Clubber Lang and Rocky 4 with Ivan Drago,
That's the one people
those are
remember.
the best Rocky
Because
movies.
Apollo's in those too, so it doesn't matter.
Well, listen, they also kind of mesh up to the end of each other, right?
Yeah.
The start of 4 is like the fight with Clubber at the end
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
Plus, you got Mick in there. You got a lot that happens between those two movies. Obviously, the Academy Award went to the original Rocky movie. It's a fantastic film from beginning to end. Literally, you couldn't write a better love story. But as far as people who are fans of Rocky, Ivan Drago or Clubber Lang and Rocky
Right.
3, Eye of the Tiger.
I must break you.
It's the Eye of the Tiger, bro. You got to get the Eye of the Tiger, Rock.
Is that
must break
is
you.
that
Dolph.
Creed 2 when
Yeah, when Dolph showed.
That's a really good movie.
It is.
Thanks for
Creed's a
ruining
good-
that twist. I haven't seen it yet. Great job. I appreciate that. What a good
He's in the
movie.
credits. Like it's not a secret. He's in it.
All right, Red Dawn, or Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I mean, I'm with you guys. Red Dawn to me, like now
I'm going Red Dawn.
I see like Indiana Jones is a better film, but Red Dawn was huge when I was a kid. We watched that all the time.
It's better than Raiders of the Lost Ark. Well,
Yeah,
Raiders isn't
I
a
go
bad movie. It's got an
Red Dawn.
iconic
Red Dawn.
Hold on though, the iconic opening scene with the
It's got
boulder.
the iconic
coming after you in the whip.
Comes down, he doesn't have his whip, so he just pulls his gun out and shoots the guy.
Oh my goodness! Like, that's
And
tough.
the people melt
but
at
Red
the end.
Dawn's got like a killer cast, and
Red
it's an
Dawn's
amazing.
got-
I got to go Red Dawn still. I'm sorry.
Red Dawn.
I'm going Red Dawn. I'm sorry. I got to go Red Dawn, ladies and gentlemen. There's no way that and I'm not even talking about the remake. We're talking about the '80s version. Like, so this is Patrick Swayze. I got Patrick. Predator versus, this is tough, Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills all day.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I got to go Beverly Hills Cop too.
Right?
Beverly Hills 1 and 2,
'Cause
but
it's
2 is
action,
definitely the
it's got
best
some
one.
gun violence,
2 is
and
the
it's
best.
funny. 2 is the best.
It be another way.
And it's
How do I know that song?
It's still 1987.
This next one could take a minute, and it's gonna split the world.
Oh, wow.
The next one's gonna split the world for sure.
why you
Not
doing
even
this?
trying to be funny with you guys. It's gonna split the world. Lethal Weapon, the original, or Roadhouse. That is a really tough call because listen, Lethal Weapon 1 gives us these iconic characters that we'll end up loving for the next few years, and it also leads to Joe Pesci's character that's great, which is
And 2, yeah.
what is it? Getz. Leo Getz. Leo gets what Leo wants. Leo gets.
Get it?
Get it? But Roadhouse gives us amazing fight scenes. Patrick Swayze at the top of his Patrick Swayze-ness. This is tough.
I'll shoot right out first and let you two mull it over. I'm going Lethal Weapon.
Roadhouse.
All right. Roadhouse is local.
Roadhouse.
Local-ish.
More local, yeah.
Local-ish.
Lethal Weapon, though, I mean...
Lethal Weapon, you had the fight scene at the end in the front yard. Is that as good as the fight scene by that pond? I don't know.
Absolutely.
No, but the question also is Roadhouse as a one-piece compendium a better movie overall, I think, or
That
not,
big old monster
than
truck.
Lethal Weapon?
That monster truck.
Lethal Weapon
I feel like Lethal Weapon
had
is the
3
better
sequels.
movie, top to bottom.
Yeah,
like as far as a movie is
better
pieced
acting.
together, better acting. But at the same point, like Roadhouse is so
But it's like, though,
nostalgically just in your heart.
In movies like Roadhouse, the bad guys are just so over the top bad. Like they're just so unbelievably
I drove a monster
jerky.
truck
It's
through
like,
your dealership.
Right? It's like,
I run
why?
this town.
Why are you so mean and cruel? Like,
All right,
what is
all
wrong
right.
with you?
I'm going to go with Lethal Weapon.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with Lethal Weapon.
Wow,
I got to go
hurt.
Lethal Weapon. I know you're hurt. I know you're
I'm
hurt.
deeply hurt.
You're going to have to get
Right.
that date to take you out for something special.
Ooh, man.
Next up, Top Gun versus RoboCop. I'm going to go Top Gun. I feel like this is not that much of a battle. I mean, RoboCop is fun.
Top Gun doesn't really have a whole lot of action in it.
Yeah, but Top Gun's a great movie from beginning
no,
to
it's a
end.
great
Like,
movie.
and by the way, if I walked up to you on the street out of the complete blue and said, "Tell me a scene you remember from Top Gun," you would go.
It's
You
the
probably
singing scene.
but you would pick one of 5 scenes. Like you could pick any of 5 scenes, and people would be like, "You got it." The volleyball scene, okay, you got it. The singing
volleyball
scene,
scene,
the singing
right?
scene where he's singing "Great Balls of Fire," okay, you got it. Like or the one where Berlin and he has
But
the
that's
love
like
scene.
the movie part of it, not the action.
If I go to RoboCop and I say, "Tell me your favorite scene from RoboCop,"
When he
I'd
dies.
be like, "That's it."
blown up when he blows up
when the 50 cal comes out and they just shoot him like it's not a 50
when he
cal.
blows up the gas station when he's getting that dude that was in ER.
I'm gonna make this easy on you two. I'm going Top Gun. You
I'm gonna make it
decide.
hard on Marcus. I'm going RoboCop.
Take my breath away.
I also
Singing
get-
Berlin. It's all over now.
I also get a great soundtrack from Top
It is.
Gun.
You get
that
Kenny
I,
Loggins.
I don't get that from
Kenny
RoboCop.
Loggins show. Well, that's not music. It's
I
like
get-
Loggins still
I get-
spending money from the 80s.
From RoboCop, I get maybe the only good Orion picture that was ever made. Like, I remember the
They
Orion.
made the second and third one too.
No, not Orion.
Marcus, where are you going? Top Gun, or RoboCop?
Top Gun, take my love away, man.
All right. Top
Kenny Loggins
Gun.
got paid. Kenny Loggins spent money from the 80s, then got another check, and the movie came out again.
All right. Next one could be tough. Could be tough. And this is going to be tough because you have a really good, well done quality movie versus another movie in the same vein, but I don't think it's done as well. But it's really cheeky and got great nostalgia to it. First Blood, Rambo, the original Rambo, First Blood.
Oh, the first one. Okay.
The first one, great acting,
It is.
great movie.
That's more of a movie than
Well, that's
anything.
like Top Gun. That's like a movie. Like that's or
First
like
Blood's like a drama.
or like Aliens. Like that's a movie from
Yeah.
beginning to end, one piece compendium. Like it's that good. Versus Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, and Alyssa Milano. She's
Yeah.
his daughter.
Commando.
Oh no, not Alyssa Milano. It's what's his name's daughter. Hold on. It's Bay Ray or whatever her name.
No.
Ray Dong Chon.
She's like, but she's his.
Oh
friend who helps.
You're right.
The one who
The
gets
daughter.
kidnapped
It is Alyssa Milano.
But yeah,
You're
it
right.
is Ray Dong Chon. She gets out of the car with that rocket launcher and blows up the truck he's in.
What happened to Ray Dong Chon? We had a girl.
She made that movie.
Well, no. She did that movie and another movie that were both pretty well-known movies, and like it was just like it never took off. Like the 80s swallowed her.
Never gave her back.
Like the 90s swallowed Topanga. They just swallowed her.
Never seen her again.
Gone.
Yeah.
First Blood or Commando, guys? I'm going to go First Blood. Even though I really love Commando, I got to go First Blood on
I
this
went
one.
Commando.
I got to go Rambo on this one. Just that speech that he gives at the end of the movie to the former guy in charge of him, the former corporal or whatever it was, who's there to talk to him, and he tells him about how they were left out to die, and it was crazy.
And like they're not going to.
It's a great speech, but it's a great speech that people can really like.
He gives a similar speech in Rambo.
He does.
I mean,
I'm going to go with First Blood. I like First Blood. Moves a little slower than Commando. Commando's great. Commando moves good.
You know what? I'm going back to my childhood, my teenage years of renting movies. It's going to be Commando.
There we go. Yeah.
Just the mall scene alone.
Back, baby.
Right?
You do Commando?
When he tells the guy, remember when I told you I wouldn't kill you or whatever? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I lied. Drops him off. By the way, why would you do that?
Same guy that was in the movie from our song at the beginning of our show, The Warriors, the same guy with the bottles who's the bad guy.
That's him.
It's the same guy.
You have Cobra on your list?
No, but I didn't make the list. I told you that at the beginning of the show.
Cobra's a good one.
Cobra is a fantastic one. Actually,
crazy.
I would have taken Cobra and knocked off one of the Indiana Jones films.
Yeah, for sure.
Temple of Doom,
sure.
for sure.
All right, not Temple of Doom. Why would you do Temple of Doom? That's the best one.
Well, then I changed my mind because then I remembered.
All right, don't change your mind here. Figure this out. Figure this one out. This is going to be a tough one. One's got a St. Louis connection, Escape from New York.
Yeah, filmed downtown.
Filmed downtown as well as at the Eads Bridge, or not the Eads Bridge, the Chain of Rocks Bridge over by North County.
That's true.
And going up against what might be the dark horse to win all of this. I can honestly see this happening. The original Terminator. The Terminator.
Wow, this might be the hardest one. Because I was about ready to vote with my teenage years again, and it was going to be easy.
Now, here's the problem. This is the original Terminator. It's not T2, because that's a 90s movie. So
T2's a better movie.
T2 is kind of like I said. You love Rocky, and you love Rocky 2, but it's not anything for a kid who grew up watching Rocky movies equal to Rocky 3 and 4. Like,
Terminator was pretty cool.
Better done. So Terminator 2 is just better done than Terminator, but at the same point, Terminator versus Escape from New York. Escape from New York has a little bit of a dated feel to it to me.
It definitely does.
It really does. Terminator has a dated feel too, but in that nostalgic 80s way. Like when I watch it, I remember the grain of the
Terminator
80s, so I just put my mind there.
Feels like they meant to film it like that. It looks like a low-rate porno.
I think that the Terminator... Listen, I will say this. I think that the Terminator movie, storyline-wise, like the written story, better overall than Escape from New York. I think Escape from New York is more jagged, jaunted pieces that they stuck together and called a movie.
You know what?
Whereas I feel like Terminator is written out to be a movie that leads to a big franchise that eventually took over everything.
I'm going to keep appeasing my young teenage
Your young self.
And I'm going to go with Escape from New York. Only because it's so dark. It's disturbing.
I'm going to go Terminator.
There we go. I was hoping you'd do that.
Marcus, where are you at?
I just love the idea of like setting
Escape
up
from New York.
Yeah.
You're going it why?
See,
just because Jason said
I
it?
like T2 better.
Yeah,
like T1 was cool, but like T2 is the one. So
there you go. It's
Terminator.
like politics.
All right.
Terminator
suffers because
Here's
T2
what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break here on the Q. When we come back, we're going to finish off this quick 1980s region of tournament pop culture and finish up with our friend Marcus Boston over here. Talking to him. And Jason Cole. We'll be back on the Q after this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hands in your body, I'm grabbing your enjoying the moment, cause life moved too fast. I'm looking forward, ignoring the past. These are the times that we'll laugh looking back. I'm getting lucky like coins in a well. Goodbye to my haters, I'm wishing you well. This is my year, man, if you couldn't tell. This is our life and we living it well.
1280 a.m. at KYRO. You're listening to The Q on KYRO every single Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, unless there's a Mizzou football game. Marcus Boston is with me here. What's up, Marcus?
Pew, 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 pew.
We got Jason Call over there. What up, Jay? We are in the middle of our 1980s region, by the way. That's Bozzy. Paradise. Love Bozzy. We're doing the 1980s. Best action movies since the 1980s. That's right. So we're going for best action movies. We found Cobra wasn't on the list. But you know what's really funny? What's really funny is
in the NIT.
We might actually have our dates right or wrong, possibly. I don't know. Is Cobra 90? Could it be 89?
No,
is it
like
80?
86 or something?
Yeah, I thought it was.
It could be like 85, 86. I don't know. I'm not sure. We are into the second round, as well as going to be working on getting this down to its final for this episode. Great first round. It's time to do the second round, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's what the action is.
Indiana Jones.
86.
Okay. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom versus Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Ooh. To be honest, I don't know how this beat Aliens. I think that's the biggest upset of the entire tournament, legitimately, other than possibly the Terminator getting beat. But the Terminator's already out. Escape from New York moved on. So this one is Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom versus Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade. I'm going Temple of Doom. I feel like it's an easy call.
I'm going Sean Connery again.
We get it. You're going to go Sean Connery, but Sean Connery didn't even do his best acting in that movie. I feel like
Last Crusade as well.
Let's go, baby.
Wow.
They attacked Nazis.
Yes, the Nazis and the Holy Grail.
Back in the day when we attacked Nazis.
Well, first off, he attacks Nazis every single time, so that's all he had to fight. Remember?
Nazis and the Holy
Raiders
Grail.
of the Large.
Yeah, the first one's Nazis.
The second one was Nazis were coming back to try to take over the stuff. And they were involved. No, they were involved with funneling the money. And then I think the last one, the Nazis were still chasing on something.
Yeah.
That was
Russians.
No.
Last one.
Was it the Russians in the last one? The last or the Crystal Skulls?
The Crystal Skulls.
I'm talking about Last Crusade.
That was Nazis. Oh, yeah. That was straight up Nazis.
That was Nazis, but it was because of the chalice, right? Jesus'
cup.
They
were going after the Holy
Grail.
Yeah.
Last Crusade moves on. The Holy Grail stands, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that.
There you go.
Next up, tough one. Beverly Hills Cop. Great movie. Very funny.
That's a good movie.
One of the better comedies of the 80s, too.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Fantastic sequel.
Versus Red Dawn.
Oh, what the heck?
Beverly Hills Cop.
If I have to choose between these two.
If it's action movie, because it's action movie.
I mean, they're both action movies.
But if I'm saying like action movie, I've got to go with
I don't mind Beverly Hills Cop winning.
I don't mind it at all.
I don't mind Red Dawn winning this. I feel personally...
But I definitely like Beverly Hills Cop 2 better.
So you're going what?
I'm going Red Dawn.
You're going Red Dawn. You're going Beverly Hills Cop.
Sir.
So it's down to me. I think in this case...
I'm good either way.
That is tough.
Yeah.
Because the argument is I could have had Rocky 4 in here because there's a lot of action in this movie. Like,
constantly. And someone dies.
I guess I'm going to go Red Dawn. I'll go Red Dawn.
Wow.
You can't lose.
I tried 80.
I go Red Dawn. I love Beverly Hills Cop, but I'm going to go Red Dawn on that one. Lethal Weapon.
All right.
Versus Top Gun.
Oh, Top Gun.
I got that.
You said you got nothing?
No, I said I got that. It's Lethal Weapon.
You're going to go Lethal Weapon. You're going
movie.
You're going Lethal Weapon. I would say Top Gun's an action movie too, for sure, with the dog fighting. No. Throughout the movie, they're fighting each other and the train. So like that's still
there's a lot of testosterone in both films.
I feel like Top Gun was a better action movie. Well, I don't know. What I do get with stop. I get it. What I do get with Lethal Weapon though is I get that true action movie that guy or guys that is falling off a building while chasing another guy down, like
diving, lots of slow motion action, close ups, handheld camera shots.
You might have got me, man. Lethal Weapon. I'm going to go Lethal Weapon over Top Gun, and I love Top Gun. I think Lethal Weapon is a better action movie.
too. We started off good.
If Top Gun was rated R, maybe it gets it.
All right. For this next one, tough one. Commando versus Escape from New York.
Oh,
Commando.
My poor teenage self.
I don't know. I feel like immediately the first thing that popped in my head was Commando over that. Mm-hmm. So I think that Commando to me is better than Escape from New York.
And you know what?
I don't know if it's much better acting though. Like I feel like the acting is equal.
You throw a Friday the 13th movie in that mix, and that's a Saturday night when I'm having a friend spend the night. Those are the movies we come back.
Oh, a horror movie and an action movie?
Those like that's almost
and popcorn at a specific time?
Like we're going to rent Commando. We're going to rent Escape from New York. We're going to rent RoboCop. We're going to rent blah, blah, blah.
And Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. We're going to rent those and watch them.
Young lady.
That was a Friday night, though.
And finally you can start buying movies.
Listen, your Friday night consisted of a trip to the movie store to get a pizza somewhere afterwards and then home.
Yep.
That took about an hour because you had to go through and walk around, look at all the tapes, and find out the box art you liked the best to get the one you wanted. And then you had to return it and rewind it. All. So it was like it was like a self-contained. Every Friday and Saturday night was like its own thing. I'm going Commando.
Commando.
No brainer.
I think Commando wins, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we're moving on to the final four for this part of the tournament. And we will probably do other sections of this tournament, okay? Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It beat Temple of Doom. I don't know how that happened with short round and booty traps.
I forgot.
Oh, shoot. Goonies could have been on here for action
movie. Heck yeah.
Goonies would have rocked
Goonies
this.
would have cleaned up.
Goonies would have cleaned up for sure.
Yeah, it'd been nasty.
Maybe that's why they didn't put Goonies on here. That's why they went after some rough one.
I'm just going to say it. Goonies is the greatest movie of all time.
That's
possible. It's possible. It's a really good movie.
Possible.
Last Crusade, Indiana Jones Last Crusade versus Red Dawn.
One Eye Willie. Last Crusade.
I'm letting my...
No, I'm going to go Red Dawn for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
I got to go Red Dawn this
I'm letting...
time.
You know what?
I went down with the ship.
That's it. The top's
You
off.
went down with the ship?
Cat's
Yeah,
out of the
that was
bag. I'm
stupid.
letting
That was
my
stupid.
teenage self...
You were stupid
He's
for that. You
controlling
should have gone down with the
everything
ship.
from now on.
I was
Red Dawn as well.
Red Dawn is winning that one. I'm sorry. You have to. You got to put yourself back into yourself. At 1987, I was 11 years old.
That's another one you're renting.
I got to seriously think about this. By the way, you could consider how loosely that we're considering action, depending on how loosely you consider action movie. You could consider like Back to the Future an action movie. Technically, it's got a lot of chase scenes and action in it, like
flying fights.
It's a great movie too.
Fantastic movie.
There it is. Okay, last one: Lethal Weapon versus Commando. This is going to set up our final. Lethal Weapon versus Commando. To me, neither of these movies really stand above the other. There's other Lethal Weapon movies that I'd put above Commando.
Yeah.
But Lethal Weapon in itself versus Commando, I think they just didn't realize the mix that they had in the original Lethal Weapon movie yet.
Yeah.
They would do it a little better by the time they get to 4.
Yeah, 2's pretty good.
And they added
really good.
They added a few people in. Hell, even the last one they did with the Chris Rock being added in. That was fantastic
that was
too.
Yeah.
Same thing with Die Hard. Fantastic, good first movie, but we know for a fact that to me, the Samuel L. Jackson walking around with a racist side, like that one really encapsulated what you wanted John McClane to be doing.
I even
with
like
a vengeance.
I even like Die Hard 2.
Yeah, Die Hard 2 was fun.
I think the names are stupid when they like Die Harder and all that stuff. That's like kind of dumb. But
what'd you guys think of the last one? The absolute last one.
Where it's his son?
With the Kevin Smith as the wizard who's the hacker that he goes in and
no, they had
Justin Long.
The son's after
one
that.
more.
Oh, okay.
One more where they're
that
in
one,
Russia.
I'm talking about Justin Long. Justin Long.
That's what I was saying. If you get the rated R one, that's great. I think it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
He throws that call in an Asian
stuff
girl.
that happens, you know? And it's long.
Can't get your tongue,
right? It's good.
All
it's
right.
Warlock.
Lethal Weapon or Commando?
Lethal Weapon.
You're going Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, I'm jumping off the ship.
I haven't made a decision yet, man. This is really difficult for me.
I
know that Lethal Weapon is Lethal Weapon's a better written movie, But I can't sit there and say that the story itself or that the acting or anything really stands out. I mean, you do get Arnold Schwarzenegger, a classic action hero from the 1980s. Whereas Mel Gibson begins to make a name for himself. He was,
I guess he was Mad Max
before
this, so
but see, once again, if you started your career in the late 70s, mid to late 70s, with all that occult, the way that everything, the movies felt and looked, it was almost like any movie that came out between 79 and 83, anywhere in that little 5-year range, right? Just doesn't get noticed, right? Alien doesn't get. Aliens was fantastic.
Right.
Rocky's fine, but like Rocky 3 is where it's at. Like, it seemed like by the time they got to 83 and after, everything started to get really solid. So, I don't know, man. I guess we could say Mel Gibson by this time is also an action star for sure. He is starring in Lethal Weapon.
I'm going to base mine off when DVDs came out and I started buying DVDs. What was one of the first ones? And this was one of the first ones. Not my VHS stuff, which I still have.
Lethal Weapon was?
It was.
And it's tough, man, because Lethal Weapon is a staple of the 1980s action movie scene.
But I still have all my VHS tapes. I have two big, huge plastic tubs.
I think that's it. That right there is what sold me on it. I'm going to go Lethal Weapon because it is a staple of the it's an icon of the 1980s action movie scenes, whereas Commando, fantastic movie, not put on the same level as Lethal Weapon. It just isn't.
And we know that there's 4 great Lethal Weapon films, and you can't just forget about it, even though you're picking that movie against that movie.
Yeah,
exactly. So our final.
It's a pillar.
We've gotten to the final, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo.
Red Dawn, a fantastic movie starring Patrick Swayze. Who was at his best. By the way, we are in prime Patrick Swayze at this point, right? You get Roadhouse, you get Don't Pay Baby in the Corner, Dirty Dancing, as well as this movie.
I think that came out before. Is Red Dawn like 1984?
86.
Is it 86?
I think it's 86.
Because he
85 or 86.
Well, by now he has been in The Outsiders.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got that.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Everything that was great before in 83 and before, remember, it gets forgotten, right? Outsiders is 83 and before. 84. So that gets forgotten about. Like, you started hitting your mark after 83. What did you do after 83? Well, I did Dirty Dancing. I did Red Dawn.
Right.
I did some movies that got some real notoriety there. So I got to give
early Charlie Sheen in it, too.
But Lethal Weapon, once again, staple of the movie icons when it comes to the 1980s action film. Like, it's just on a different level. It's up there with Top Gun. Like, it's like they take that movie and Top Gun and what other Goonies, like action movies. Now, this is probably playing down the road of the cop, good guys, bad guys, evildoers and all that, a little bit more for the action side of it to exist. So both work. Tough call. Where are you at, Marcus?
Lethal Weapon.
Where are you at?
So I think I'm going to, I'm thinking Lethal Weapon because Lethal Weapon's like an adult film. Red Dawn it's kids, but it's a great movie. Good job.
Well,
kids.
you didn't disappoint me because, ladies and gentlemen, I also chose Lethal Weapon. I feel that for the 1980s region of this bracket of best action movie since 1980, we got 4 decades to work with here. Lethal Weapon is going to win our 1980s region of this.
It's almost a perfect action movie.
It is almost a perfect action movie. It does have, like I said, I feel like it's a little slow in spots, so they learned from that and they capitalized and made it better in the next movies afterwards.
They threw a funny guy in to make the slow spots hilarious.
Correct. That's why we get a Joe Pesci to add to those spots. It worked out great.
2 and 3 are fantastic.
Literally, because there is comedy between Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, but it's not the same type of comedy that Joe Pesci adds in. Yeah. So, congratulations to Lethal Weapon. They're moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about time for us to get out of here on this show. We want to remind you that on December 16th at Andre South off Telegraph Road in South County, St. Louis, is the Kate's Love for Jacks Purple Gala.
Yes.
Our boy Marcus Boston is going to be there.
Getting auctioned off. Get your tickets.
Tickets are available. How much are they?
$50 a ticket.
$50 a ticket.
It's all you can drink.
All you can eat, drink,
food.
Yep.
There'll be auction. They have diamond rings.
There'll
TVs.
be you sexily dressed up, right? Do you have a suit picked out?
I will have something very purple and very, 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 very well custom made.
Will you look like a big purple thumb just walking out there?
I will make it elegant. It'll be a lot of gold.
You'll make it elegant.
A lot of gold, a lot of purple.
I feel like if you just went with an all-purple suit, but like gold flake shoes to set it off with like a gold hat, like a fedora style.
I'm at a players ball now.
Boom, you're good to go.
Like a
now we're doing a players ball, but you get tickets from
sparkly cane.
www.KateLoveForJax. That's JAKK. No, JAXX. I'm sorry, where did I get KK from? Yeah, you go. .org. So go. You can find them on Facebook at Kate's Love for Jax at JAXX.org. Get your tickets. December 16th.
Make sure you guys also check out the Soulardians, right? You want to make sure that you check out the Soulardians as well as Always Forward Media. Mm-hmm. We have our own website.
Yep.
What's the website for Always Forward?
AFM314.com.
There it is, AFM314.com. We have a bunch of different shows on there. Make sure you guys check those out. Mm-hmm. Marcus, I want to thank you so much for being here, playing along with us, trying to figure out if you got love in your life, and we figured it out.
I do.
We did. We figured it out today.
On the horizon.
Also, thank you to Jason Cole.
Thank you for having me.
I really do appreciate you being on the show every single week, sir. MMWA's Feast for Destruction is tonight at the legendary South Broadway Athletic Club. As the assistant commissioner myself, I implore you guys to come out and enjoy the best professional wrestling in St. Louis, Missouri. Doors open at 6 p.m. Bell time's at 7 o'clock tonight. Only $12 for adults to get in and $10 for kids. You can get tickets at mmwa-pro-wrestling.ticketleap.com. That's Ticketleap, TICKETLEAP. So mmwa-pro-wrestling.ticketleap.com. That's going to do it for us on this episode of The Q. Thank you so much to all of you listeners out there. Make sure you check out theqnow.com. Old episodes, new episodes, and everything in between. Catch us every single Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time right here on News Radio, KYRO.com, or at 1280 a.m. KYRO. That's going to do it for us on this episode of The Q. We will see you guys next time on the show. 1-800-JOHN-BEAL.